stand up and enforce the rule of law. The President of these United States is not above the law.
No matter how rich, powerful, or politically connected you are, everyone must play by the same rules.
Please sue him for us.
Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the
A few moments later.
The Trump administration accuses Attorney General Tish James of mortgage fraud. They allege in court documents that in 2023, James granted her power of attorney to make a Norfolk, Virginia property her principal residence, despite her actually living and serving as Attorney General in New York. They also allege she bought a 5-family property in Brooklyn in 2001 with a loan that is only available for homes with 4 units or less.
Hey, yo, what's goody, family? Thank you for checking out another episode. I am your host, Wavy. Let's take this story to New York, New York. We got to talk about Letitia, Big Tish James. Out here doing the unthinkable. Out here, the pot calling the kettle black. The same thing that she was trying to, that I believe she got appointed to this job as being the Attorney General of New York was for her and Alvin Bragg to go after Trump. And because of her is the reason Trump is labeled a convicted felon. Guilty of 34 felonies that, when a lot of legal experts have looked into it and put their bias aside, have said, is there really even a crime? And if there is a crime, should they have been felonies or misdemeanors? According to court documentation filed by the Attorney General, Letitia James, they alleged that Trump was being dishonest when filing paperwork, and there were some discrepancies over the valuation or the value of the Mar-a-Lago facility, if you want to call it that. They said Trump overvalued his property at over $700 million when it was really worth about somewhere between 18 and 27 or $30 million. So they said that he grossly over exaggerated it, even though in as recent as 2022, Forbes listed Mar-a-Lago at worth at least 300 and something million. Actually, it was 350 million. But some experts have appraised the property at over $1 billion, some even into $1.5 billion. So you're going to tell me Mar-a-Lago, honestly, is worth $18 million? Bill Pulte and the U.S. Federal Housing, FHFA, have decided to look into Letitia James. And to be honest, I don't know if it's looking quite good for her. It's alleged her primary residence goes back to a house in Virginia at the time she was running to become the Attorney General of New York. Now, how would that happen? If you lived in one state, you can't run for an elected official in another town or city. You let me know in the comments below. But I believe if you're a resident of Texas, you can't run for mayor of a city in New Jersey. They are also alleging back in the 80s, she signed some sort of paperwork which listed her father as her husband. Now, I don't know what in the Ilhan Omar is going on with these Democrats, where they all partaking in some sort of incest, and then they are getting married to each other, documenting it. I don't know what type of sickness is going on in that party. I just know as the days go by, some of the loudest people are starting to show the cracks in their foundation. And I'm all here for it. And I don't want to hear anything about, oh, this is Trump taking political retribution, and this is Trump going after his enemies, and this and that, because Letitia James, Fonnie Willis, Alvin Bragg, and all of these other court systems and judges and everything, even still happening, have done all that they can to go after Donald Trump. They have set the precedent. Joe Biden showed us it was okay to go after your political opponents, and nobody had a problem with it. Nobody had a problem with them going on a witch hunt after Trump for God knows what, looking into all his family, calling his sons in front of Congress, going through every single business documentation that he had, looking for something. Trust me, they didn't expect him to win the election in 2024. Especially the way he did.
Breaking news from the Decision Desk. NBC News can now project that Donald Trump has won the state of Wisconsin, which means he is the winner of this race and will return to the White House as this country's 47th president.
Be sure to like the video. It goes a far way for the channel, or you could dislike it. Also, make sure you're subscribed, and if you got anything to say, let me know whatever you're thinking in the comments section.
In 2023, James granted her power of attorney to make a Norfolk, Virginia property her principal residence, despite her actually living and serving as Attorney General in New York. They also allege she bought a 5-family property in Brooklyn in 2001 with a loan that is only available for homes with 4 units or less. Alice Gaynor explains the accusations and the politics involved.
The head of the Federal Housing Finance Agency alleges New York Attorney General Letitia James may have committed mortgage fraud related to a Virginia home and a New York property. And so he sent Attorney General Pam Bondi a criminal referral letter.
I saw it on breaking news this morning. This case was sent to us from Bill Pulte. We have not seen it. I inquired right before I walked out here. No one in my office has read it yet. We haven't looked at it. Of course, we'll be reviewing it.
The allegations in that letter claim James listed the Virginia home as her main residence and that she misrepresented her Brooklyn property as having fewer units. All, he writes, in order to allegedly secure more favorable loan terms.
Now, I'm not the smartest person in the room, but isn't she allegedly doing the same thing she was in the courtroom going so hard against Trump for doing, for messing with the property paperwork? She's saying that her unit is that her building is only has 4 units, when in fact it has 5. So she's screwing with it. A lot of these people that are screaming the loudest, and I hope y'all have started to see it over the last few months. I bet you if we followed the paper trail, I bet you they have some skeletons in their closets. And I can't wait. I want them to continue exposing all of these people, because I know a lot of these politicians and people in Washington, D.C., and these bureaucrats and these people out here protesting Elon Musk and what Doge is doing. A lot of them, I think, in my opinion, have their hands dirty. They've all had their hands in the cookie jar. Hopefully, this administration starts doing what they have to do. I understand that they want to make sure that they have an airtight case before they go after some of these people, because they know the backlash that they're going to get. Already you're seeing it with this case right here.
It's also alleged James and her father signed mortgage documents in 1983 stating they were husband and wife. You may recall AG James filed a civil lawsuit against President Trump and the Trump Organization for inflating property values to get more favorable loan and insurance terms. She won, and they were fined hundreds of millions of dollars.
He said he was going to go after his enemies. He declared he would be going after his enemies. And he's finally gotten down to maybe the J's on his list, Tish James.
I told you that this would be the excuse that they would play. This is par for the course when it comes to these violent, modern-day Democrats. They attack, and then the very second the other side decides to retaliate, then they start crying, wailing and flailing themselves around like a kid throwing a tantrum in the mall, talking about how they got attacked, how they're now the victim.
Legal expert Nicole Bernecki.
There is a statute of limitation. I think that is why that last instance where she allegedly declared her husband, her father, her husband, that was mentioned the last in the letter, because it's just, I think, inflammatory at this point because it was so long ago.
Just inflammatory? You see how they all dogpiling on Letitia James right now to protect her? Because if you or I had falsified some sort of documents, the government, even if the statute of limitation had ran out, they would find some loophole to use it to get back what they lost plus interest. They're out here making any excuse for her. Like, yeah, it's okay. You said that you married your father. Okay, yeah. What? That happened 30, 40 something years ago? Forget about it.
On Valentine's Day a year ago, roses are red, violets are blue. No one's above the law, even when you think the rules don't apply to you. Happy Valentine's Day. She, of course, referring to Donald Trump. Our next guest using that tweet against her. No one is above the law, even when you think the rules don't apply to you. Letitia James. Do you think the DOJ actually charges her?
Well, look, if it's clear that she violated the law and she was committing mortgage fraud, not to mention, as I understand it, if you're going to be the New York Attorney General, how are you claiming that you live in another state? That just doesn't work. And so if all these things pan out to be true, she should be charged. She was quick to charge Donald Trump, saying that he put fraudulent information on a loan application. Well, that's what she's accused of doing right now.
Do you have any concerns about her being married to her father? Is that something we need to look into?
Listen, I think everybody's got concerns about that one.
My mission is clear. I'm focused. I'm prepared. I'm ready. I've been trained by the best. I went to Howard University. That overturned legal segregation in this country.
What she did with
I've been
Kamala.
taught in those classrooms what Thurgood Marshall once taught. I'm not afraid of no president. Donald Trump, we're ready for you. We're coming for you. We're standing up for you. We're fighting on. We're not going down silent. Victory, my friends, is clear. It's now. And I'm not waiting 4 years. I'm waiting 2 until a speaker by the name of Hakeem Jeffries comes to bring us some
Timu
rest.
Obama.
Come on.
I might understand why she's speaking like that. Whenever these black people get into some sort of controversy, the first thing they like to run to the black churches or the black organizations. I'm not sure what organization this is, but I see red and I see black and I see green. So you know what I'm saying? Hey, every time they come under the slightest scrutiny and can't reasonably articulate themselves, even her as an attorney, surprising, ironic, right? DEI maybe, they revert back to racism. This is the same playbook Fonnie Willis and so many others have used over the years, where they run to the black podium to try to emotionally rile up misinformed and uninformed Negroes and Negro adjacent people, or whatever you want to call yourselves, all liberals, and stoke the flames of racism, keeping it alive. And then they wonder why racism won't leave. Because every time we try to just ignore that son of a bitch, here comes a liberal, a black woman most of the time, talking about it.
And then y'all want to come at us and act like people of color are the problem or that women are the problem? Like, baby, you probably need a good black woman in the room who can check you and tell you that, first of all, you shouldn't be doing this on Signal or anything else.
If it's not her, it's Jasmine Crockett, it's Joy Reid, it's Michelle Obama, it's Whoopi Goldberg. It's all of these same type of mammy black women that continuously try to tell us racism, white supremacy, etc.
What is going on here? Did anybody contact you before this letter went out accusing you of this, that, and the other and making a criminal referral about real estate transactions?
No, not at all. And let me just say to all New Yorkers and to all Americans, the allegations are baseless. The allegations are nothing more than a revenge tour. And as you mentioned, my office was successful in securing a $454 million judgment against Donald Trump and others.
Which is being appealed as we speak.
For exaggerating the value of his assets. He engaged in a pattern and practice of fraud. And the interest is accruing each and every day while the case is on appeal in the First Department. It's important that individuals know that this is nothing more than the continuation of the tour. He went after law firms, universities, immigrants, women, thousands of federal employees.
A whole bunch of word salad. I don't want to hear about Trump. We saw you in the courtroom. We've seen the documentation. We're some people are now even reviewing the appellate process that's happening. We don't want to hear about Trump. He's asking you a question, and this is what they all do. All of these politicians play this same damn game. Every time you start talking to them about what they're doing, about what they've gotten caught up in, you see these people with Doge. You saw the mayors speak in front of Congress And whenever they were asked a question about what's going on in their towns or their cities or their budget or anything like that, everything went back to Trump. We're tired of hearing Democrats speak about Trump. That's why y'all ratings is in the tank. Okay, when Democrat politicians speak, we need to hold their feet to the flame, but they won't because there's no objective journalism that will actually hold their feet to the flame and ask them the tough questions. And whenever they try to go off topic, bring them back to the subject at hand.
These right now are unemployed. Our government is in chaos and in disarray. Medicaid.
Why is the government in chaos and disarray? Because of 4 years of auto pen?
I will not be silenced. I will not be bullied. I will not bend. I will not break. And I will not bow to anyone. No one is above the law, including the President of these United States.
Closing out, I think Letitia James was hired and appointed to be in the position of Attorney General of New York, along with Alvin Bragg, to go after Donald Trump. They set the precedent, and I don't want to see them or anybody on the left talking about this is unwarranted, baseless. He's just going after them because they're his political opponents, because they did the same thing to him. What are you thinking about this case? Do you think Letitia James is innocent? This is all political. She did nothing. All of these records, false. All of these statements that they have, false. And hopefully whoever is behind falsifying these records behind Letitia James, hopefully they are dealt with, because there's no room for somebody to be going after a political opponent or on behalf of a political opponent. Letitia James is caught in the middle of an ugly battle right now between Trump and the Democrats that he feel did him wrong. And he will do whatever he can within his power, maybe even go outside of his power, to get this woman taken down, possibly disbarred, because I am seeing that people do want her license taken away, all because she is a black woman, the first ever black woman to serve as Attorney General of New York. And they would rather her be ousted and shamed forever and called a DEI hire, and that's why she was put in this position. Yeah, it's Letitia James today, but who's it going to be tomorrow? Who else is on his hit list of people that he will stop at nothing until they are out of a job, in prison, bankrupt? Or do you think Letitia James is crooked? Her, Alvin Bragg, Fonnie Wills, everyone that had anything to do with these court cases, looking to end the man's political career, end his business career. And this woman was one of those people at the forefront of it. She was responsible for him being now labeled a convicted felon. But now that Trump has the power and the shoes on the other foot, they're trying to run with their tail between their legs, screaming that they're the victim. This is all political and baseless. No, no, no. Y'all set the precedent. Y'all said that this is the game you wanted to play. I say every Republican in office, you better be ready to play this same game. If not, you're showing yourself to be a rhino, you're showing yourself to be weak, and you're showing yourself that you need to be out come midterms. That's all I really got to say on it for now. But I'm here for all the smoke. I want to see a political civil war. All right, if that's what we got to go through to get the country and the government to a better place, running more efficiently, with people that are actually being honest with the American people, with the American people's best interests at heart. That's who I want in all of these places, from a local councilman right on up to the highest of the high. But this video is getting longer than I expected. Let me know whatever y'all thinking in the comment section. Till the next video, please be safe and stay wavy.
Repetition is the father of learning.